Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two pickup trucks making love. American made.
Listen up, Autothoughts and Decepticlowns. You're listening to Prime Cuts, a non-linear history of the Transformers franchise on television. I'm one of your hosts, Nero.
I'm your other host, Audrey.
It's more Energon. I don't really know what to tell you.
You know what? I have highlights this week.
That is a change of pace.
Which is better than nothing.
Yes. Yeah, things happened. You know, at the end of every episode of Superlink, on the next time on, Alpha Q promises that something cool will happen next time, and I think he actually was right for once.
Yeah. Alpha Q is also, like, getting a little more interesting as well as a character.
Yeah.
His motives are actually not as clear as I thought they were. So, interesting stuff.
We might actually have some kind
bit.
of, like, third faction here.
Yeah. Also, we go into another dimension. But hey, I didn't fall asleep this time, so you know it's better than last week from the get-go.
Yeah, that is an improvement. Well, I suppose we will jump right in here to episode 24, which has some real different titles in each language here. Episode 24, Unicron Unleashed, or in Superlink, now it is possible.
Sorry, that's really funny.
Yeah, just yeah. What does Tubi think this is called?
Or on Tubi, me when I move back in with my parents, Unicron Unleashed.
I had to get out of this upside down credit situation. I just had to move back in with the folks.
My refrigerator hasn't worked in 3 months.
And you know I'm a hungry boy. It's my main thing. But it's just for a year or so until I get back on my feet, Primus. Don't worry. All right. Enough of that.
I like that he's talking to Primus in this theoretical.
His brother. Yeah,
That.
They're catching up on the phone. On the God phone.
And I like that he said my folks, not our folks in this situation as well.
Yeah. I will not do that Unicron voice anymore, lest I fucking destroy my larynx with that shit. All right.
I mean, what do you need it for? Podcasting?
Yeah, I don't need that shit. Rad takes Wingdagger's body off while the Autobots prepare for the next Decepticon assault. This comes sooner than expected, with the newly formatted Mirage, or Shock Fleet in the sub, leading the way. He scatters the
That
Autobots.
was Tidal Wave, by the way.
Tidal Wave just became smaller. He's still a boat.
And now he can make rain?
Yeah, he has rain powers, and he scatters the Autobots, distracting them to allow Shockblast to punch right into Primus's chambers with an army of Terracons to slurp up all that juicy divine energon. Primus tells Rad to fire the energon towers in reverse directly into his chambers. Shockblast notices this and manages to recall most of the Terracons in time. They escape back to Unicron with the spoils, and the energon towers are now offline. Kicker arrives too late with the Omnicons and heads right back to Alpha Q along with Ironhide. Meanwhile, Unicron's body is beginning to reawaken and gain some new epic gamer colors. The Autobots launch a full-scale assault on him while Alpha Q sits paralyzed by fear. Primus tells Rad they need to hurry up on reformatting Wingdagger into a new form to turn the tides. Kicker eventually gets through to Alpha Q, who hatches a plan involving Dr. Jones sending all of Earth's energon to him. He then slams Unicron's head into his side, opening the way for the Autobots to invade the body.
So this episode has one of the highlights, and that is that the music whips ass in this episode.
Really?
There are some really good tracks in the dub. I'm surprised if it's not the same in the sub.
Well,
but during the actual, battle, before they go into Unicron, like this music in like while they're battling in space, it's great. It's wonderful.
I'll have to go back and...
You can't tell what the fuck is happening on the screen, but it sounds amazing.
Sounds cool. I can't. I would need to go back and look because I don't pay a lot of attention to the soundtrack a lot of the times.
I mean, usually I don't either, which is why, like, whenever I know, because I don't really care about music, like, generally in my life. I know that's an insane thing to say, but, like, I've been listening to the same 600 tracks on my 2010 iPod, since 2007.
Yeah.
Like, since 2010. It has been the same playlist. Like, I don't listen to new music. I don't really care about it that much. There's a few songs that I go hard for, and there's very few songs that I don't like, even a little bit. But it's not, like, a passionate thing of mine. So when I notice music, it's, like, a big deal.
Yeah. And I know that in Armada, they use different music in the dub for the most part. But I believe they use the same soundtrack for both Superlink and Energon because there's a bunch of times watching Superlink, which I have never watched before, where the music has triggered like a sense memory. So I'm pretty sure it's the same. I will have to go back and watch the space battle in both versions, I think.
Yeah, it's like an extended version of one of like the main songs, I think. Mm-hmm. But like the extended version of it has like the cool parts they don't include in a normal version or whatever. So it's like a very like epic battle music thing. It's cool.
What do we think about Mirage?
I don't think about Mirage.
You don't think you don't think much about him. I don't think about you at all.
Yeah.
I will say
I feel sorry for you.
I mean, out of the three, I get with Starscream, technically 4 reformatted Decepticons. I think his design looks the best. It doesn't look great, but it looks better than the others.
I have to say, in general, as all of them get reformatted, though, and all of them have kind of the same voices, in terms of just, like, kind of gruff.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the Autobots as well, by the way. I'm finding it harder and harder. Like, my face blindness is getting worse.
It doesn't help that none of their faces are that different, and half of them don't have mouths. And when they do have mouths, they don't really move that much.
And, like, all of them getting reformatted has taken away, like, anything that made them unique before, basically. So it's not, like, I couldn't tell you who is speaking in a scene anymore, basically.
I will say, in Japanese at least, it is the same voice actor for Shockwave and Shockfleet as it has been for all of the reformatted guys. But with the Mirage, he really... Well, he sounds completely different. Like he sounds like kind of a normal guy instead of the very deep gruff voice. And I think, from my memory in Energon, Mirage still basically has the same voice in the dub.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not that their voices are different than what they were before. It's that their voices are the same to each other.
Yeah, at least you can always remember which one Snowcat is.
For the most part, but like even he's not always yodeling. And so like sometimes.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
It's like 9 times out of 10 he's yodeling.
Yes. That means that like one time he's not. But that is not what not always means, Nero. But
listening and learning.
Sit your white ass down. Yeah, it's just like, and again, like the Autobots aren't any better. I'm like, is that Rodimus? Is that Scorponok? I don't even know anymore. Yeah. They both sound like gravelly, and they're both working together, except when they're not working together. It
doesn't help that like basically 6 dudes voice every character in this show.
Yeah.
Which was kind of the same for Armada, but that had a much smaller cast.
Right.
And much more different voices, but like, good lord. It's really...
And also, like, more distinct personalities.
That
designs.
Definitely helps, too.
Anyway, so, yeah, it's hard. I have 3 other notes for this episode, which is Alpha Q falls victim to CrowdStrike.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's like a Um, Alpha Q here once again. Kind of coward moments for Alpha Q, or like he's like retreating into himself. At least this time, Kicker doesn't have to beat him with a lead pipe.
Alpha Q, I think what happens in this episode is that Alpha Q is like suddenly faced with the like tangible realization of having to fight Unicron controlled by Megatron.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh,
and like,
fuck!"
Like, man, that thing ate my planet.
Yeah,
fuck.
That thing ate my planet. It's being piloted by like the most evil guy in the universe.
Yeah, he has a line in the next episode about Megatron that is actually very funny.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly coming from Alpha Q. But like, from that line in the next episode, we find like he is genuinely very afraid of Megatron.
Yeah.
So he kind of gets a little blue screen of death going on in this episode.
He's not doing great, but a little pep talk from Kicker gets him out of it.
My other note is that as they appeal to Dr. Jones to release the Energon, Alpha Q says, Dr. Jones could be quite useful to me. And first of all, Dr. Jones isn't useful to anyone, so jot that down. Second of all, the fact that Dr. Jones is immediately like, yeah, fuck it. Like, if we get attacked on Earth, we'll just die. That sounds good.
Yeah, there's a call in the next episode.
Alexis
video calls him and is like, "Hey, bro, what's up? What are you doing with all the Energon?" And Dr. Jones says, "Don't worry about it."
Calls her hysterical.
Yeah.
When she's speaking like very calmly. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm going to murder this man with my own two hands.
Having a fucking woman moment over there, Alexis. I'm just shooting all of our Energon into space to power up Unicron's head that is currently being piloted by a four-headed snake man. What's your fucking problem, woman?
And then the last thing is that, so basically, like, Alpha Q is looking around at he's like, meets Kicker, and he's like, this dude can, like, find Energon, that whips. And then, like, Kicker's like, okay, here are all the people in my life, and he's like, oh man, he has so many easily manipulated friends and family members. This also whips. What the hell? Yeah. Humans rule. Yeah. And the last one of these is, like, Misha, where Misha's like, they have another fight, and like Misha's like, I forget what Kicker tells her to do. Something basically, Kicker, whether misguided or not, like at least it's like good intention this time. Is like, we are about to go into battle. I am begging you to like take cover somewhere, like go be safe somewhere. And she's like, fine, I will, and like walks off. And Alpha Q matchmakes for evil. Mm-hmm. Basically at this point, because it's like really there's this like he tells Kicker, it's like, that Misha human is really useful, you should get your head out of your ass and realize it before it's too late. But then it like has this like long close-up on Alpha Q's face where he just looks kind of menacing, and it's like, what's going on here?
Oh, also, so I looked in the dub thing, the dub differences, to see if there's like something that got like garbled. Yeah. But it doesn't look like anything it did with the Misha thing. But I will say, Alpha Q's line about Dr. Jones being useful, dub edition. He doesn't say that shit. He knows Dr.
He's not.
Jones. Yeah, he's not useful to anybody.
He's not.
But
I would simply not say he was useful.
Yeah. A couple more things to hit. So number one, yes, God got eaten by a bunch of kiddies. Like a lot of him got eaten. And then he tells Rad, I'm going to pump this nobody full of energy to like revive him and turn him into something cool. Number two, we got to talk about Gamer Unicron.
Yeah, this made a much larger impression on you than on me, so...
I remember even when I was a kid looking at this recolor and going, oh, that looks ugly. That looks very bad. Like, I don't know. There's something about it that's like, well, number one, I think so. So for those who mercifully are not watching the show or the show along with us, his new,
Which again, those of you who are, I'm begging you to love yourself.
So they had it was a new toy line and they wanted to sell that really big Unicron figure they made for Armada again. So they gave him some new colors, and the colors that they gave him, so like all of the planet shell parts are like matte or like black with neon green highlights. And then he's got a bunch of orange, also with neon green highlights. And then his, like, sort of face mask type deal is purple. And, for his design is mostly black, which means that any shot of him floating in space, which is all of them, because that's what he does, you can barely see him. Like, one of his arms is completely black, so it just completely vanishes into the scenery.
It's not the only arm that vanishes in these episodes.
Got him.
Got him.
But yeah, like, I don't know. This Unicron deco is just like, it's very 2004. It is exceedingly 2004. But yeah, I think that's about all that happens here, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
The toy Unicron was even crazier, by the way, because a bunch of it was also translucent.
Okay.
It looks like a fucking Happy Meal toy. No
sure.
good. No
Why
good.
not? I mean, why not, right?
I think Hasbro should give me a free HasLab Unicron. Sorry, I got distracted scrolling down the Unicron toys page. I just think they should give me one for free, because I would like it. Anyway, episode 25. Open Fire, or a Gale, Wing Saber. As the Autobots fight their way through Unicron's innards, Megatron and Alpha Q are in a tug-of-war to see who can control the Chaos Bringer. Shockblast develops Sudden Betrayal Syndrome and decides he wants Unicron's power for himself. While Kicker and Alpha Q engage in one of the stupidest conversations I've ever heard, Dr. Jones is busy gathering all of Earth's energons, something which Alexis is understandably pretty concerned about. The Autobots finally get to the depths of Unicron, where Optimus challenges Megatron to single combat. However, Shockblast nips that in the bud and blows Prime's limbs off, much to Megatron's anger. While Optimus is doing his best impression of Monty Python's Black Knight, Snowcat and Demolisher run across him and just start shooting the fuck out of him. This causes Primus to mobilize the newly minted and juiced up Wing Saber to rush to his side. Just when it seems all hope is lost, the Energon shoots through the space bridge, powering up Alpha Q and Unicron's head. Alpha Q begins to reform the planets Unicron destroyed, including his own. Yeah, so can we talk about this fucking conversation Kicker and Alpha Q have? Because I felt like my video was looping.
Which one?
There's like a bit where he's like trying to fucking convince. It's one where he's convincing all of Alpha Q's faces individually to fight Megatron.
Oh, yeah.
But also to not fight Megatron and to let Optimus fight Megatron.
Right, yeah. I mean...
It's like, because he's like, you gotta join the fight. And Alpha's like, okay, I'll fight Megatron. He's like, no, but don't fight Megatron, though. And he's like, what? But you told me to fight Megatron. No, Optimus will fight Megatron. You don't have to fight Megatron.
Yeah, I feel like it maybe was a little clearer in the dub, actually. I don't know. I didn't find this particularly confusing in the greater scheme of Energon. Like, particularly because this is in reaction to things that are happening.
Yeah.
Like, basically, so, like, Alpha Q tries to attack Megatron with spikes, and, like, fails. Mm-hmm. And Megatron, like, is able to reverse it. Like, spikes through Unicron, right? Because, like, both Alpha Q and Megatron have control over the weird, malleable tentacles that are Unicron's insides. So, Alpha Q tries to attack him first. Megatron is able to, like, mentally overpower him and, like, send the spikes back to him. And he, like, narrowly avoids getting impaled many times. But it's after that point where Kicker's like, homie, stop trying to attack Megatron. It's like, you are wasting all of your energy. I told you to help Optimus. And Alpha Q's like, but I want to kill Megatron. It's like, no. Optimus. I will say, there's actually a really unfortunate, like, piece of dubbing here, which is no fault of Kicker's voice actor, just, like, unfortunate mouth flaps. So that his line here, where he's explaining why Alpha Q should be running support, is very Shatner-esque.
Oh my god.
It's very, Optimus is the only one who has the power to defeat Megatron. It's just like, that's unfortunate. But yeah, so like that is what he's trying to do. He's like, you can't beat Megatron, but you can help Optimus beat Megatron. So that's what I need you to do right now, because otherwise we're fucked.
That makes the scene seem much shorter than it is. He spends so long talking to the Alpha Q about this, and like I said, he has to tell it to each face in turn. I was like, good god. All right, so Shockblast. I thought perhaps that his sudden betrayal syndrome would be like a more abrupt thing in the dub only, but no, in both versions he just like decides, actually, fuck this, I want to control Unicron.
Yeah, I just had a thought. Actually, fuck this.
and Megatron's response is just, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, he's like, all right, try and take it, dude.
It's so fucking funny. Like, he literally just comes across Inferno shoots at him or something, or it's the next episode. But
yeah.
he just looks up and decides, what if I had Unicron?
I will say, so like Inferno is like watching this like first argument, like he comes across the two of them, and Inferno's lack of personality does actually make him a great everyman in this scene.
Yeah,
because he's watching this and he immediately goes, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, because it's Mirage and Shockblast who are arguing, right? Because
right, yeah.
Mirage carries forward tidal waves disgust of Shockblast.
Oh, so the line, by the way, going back to Kicker trying to convince Alpha Q to fight, to redirect his attentions, Alpha Q is like, but we gotta kill Megatron. He's a maniac. Nuts. Yeah.
Nuts. Yeah.
Each of those being with different heads. He's a maniac. Maniac. Nuts. Yeah.
The third one just wanted to be included.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Let's see. Can we talk about Optimus getting his fucking ass beat? Holy shit.
He's a pencil. He's a swizzle stick. You can use him as a pool noodle.
Shockblast blows off like 3 of the 4 Prime Force drones. He's left with one arm. He looks so ridiculous. He's just a fucking box sitting on the floor. Yeah, he's like still in his super mode configuration, so he's just so square. The image of Snowcat and Demolisher coming into the room, seeing Optimus like on the floor, limbless, completely defenseless, and just blasting him is so funny.
Yeah, it's okay. So there's like a sequence of things here that's like pretty funny. Mm-hmm. First of all, right before he goes in, Kicker does call Optimus to be like, "Hey, Optimus, good news! I like convinced my dad to send us all the Energon, and then like Alpha Q has agreed to like help us and like distract Megatron and all that, so like you can really like go in and kick his ass. So you don't need to worry about." So he's talking about Alpha Q as if it was something they were concerned about before. So he's like, "So now you don't need to worry about that anymore." And Optimus goes, "Huh?" and disconnects the call. It's so funny.
That's pretty fucking good.
Then like when they like get to the corner, like he's in the middle with it's Rodimus and Hotshot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that he's in there with. And Optimus is like yelling into the void. He's like, Megatron, come out and face me, you coward. and like they're over this huge pit, and like Rodimus and Hotshot are both looking down, and they're like, Optimus, I think we have to go into like the huge pit, but we can't do that because we'll die for sure. And Optimus is like, no. Megatron's gonna come out and face me. And what Megatron does, he does so by summoning a giant drill.
Yeah, he said, I watched this fucking human show the other day. It's called Tin
Yeah.
Top of Gurren Lagann, and I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, this is the drill that's gonna penetrate the heavens.
Yeah. And then Optimus says, see, told you guys. Let me just go up here, and then he gets shot.
It's so funny. I mean, it is less funny after the fact, because if it had been this, but like immediately, so like this drill platform appears, and like Rodimus is like, hey, Optimus, that seems like an obvious trap. Maybe you don't want to walk into the obvious trap. And Optimus says, even Megatron wouldn't sink so low. And as soon as that last it's like, no, even Megatron wouldn't sink so low. And as soon as that last syllable is out of his mouth, he gets his arm shot off.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, you know what?
It's like
he was
YouTube
right.
poop timing.
He was right. That wasn't Megatron. So, like,
right.
You know.
It wasn't Megatron. I don't know that he was right that Megatron wouldn't sink so low.
Yeah.
But he was right that it wasn't Megatron.
Considering the thing he does in the next episode, I don't think Megatron is really an honor guy. But yeah, we have another, this Optimus, this Unicron Trilogy Optimus already died once, and he almost dies again. Because he's just sitting on the floor, his Energon star fades, and he just flashes back. His life flashes before his eyes.
It is really funny. It's like in black and white and everything.
Yeah.
It's very melodramatic.
It's like, man, your death at Armada was way cooler than this. You body blocked a like Death Star laser. That was fucking sick. This one, Shockwave's shitty cousin Jockwave blew all your arms off and left you sitting on the floor. And also, after that, the two dumbest guys in the Decepticon army used you as target practice.
That's the real insult to injury there.
You had to be saved by Scorponok.
Like, Shockblast doing that is like, ooh, that's grim.
But at least it's, like, Shockblast has been tearing shit up.
Right, like, he is a known homicidal quantity.
Mm-hmm.
For these two chuckle fucks.
Yeah, like, Optimus. Really, it's one of the worst. If he had died here, it would have been the funniest Optimus death. But luckily, Unicron's head becomes a star because of all the Energon.
Hooray!
Anything else?
I mean, star. Yes, I mean it becomes.
It's like a miniature sun.
Yeah, it squirts galactically.
It does. It lays a bunch of eggs all over the place. In Japanese, the episode is called A Gale Wingsaber, a character who does not do anything in this episode other than get infused with god juice. And this is something very funny. So in the sub, he doesn't even say anything, I don't think. Maybe he's just like one thing. In the dub, so there's a scene where Primus and Rad are talking a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
All of Primus's dialogue in the dub gets given to Wingsaber.
Oh.
Because they keep doing this thing where they just don't talk about Primus for whatever reason.
They just talk about Primus.
They keep giving his dialogue to other characters. They keep referring to him as the Energon Core. Like, they just don't. I don't understand why he is so, like, he's like a non-entity in the dub. It's very strange.
Yeah, huh.
But yeah, Wingsaber has the episode after him in Super Link. He doesn't do shit. That's all the next episode, and boy howdy, let me tell you, we'll talk about him right now, actually, as I give the summary for episode 26, which in both the sub and dub is given the incredible name Ripped Up Space.
Again, I've seen Brazzers. I know that series.
Megatron is pretty annoyed by the whole giant Energon sun thing, so much so that he begins preparing a massive blast of tainted Energon from Unicron. Optimus, still low on Energon, stumbles his way through Unicron's innards. He almost gets got by Mirage, Starscream, and Shockblast, who are in the middle of arguing about whether Shockblast or Megatron are better. But his new power-up mushroom, Wing Saber, arrives to become his arms and legs. While Ironhide and Scorponok climb their way up to the final boss arena to face Megatron, Optimus meets up with Rodimus and the rest. Rodimus officially swears loyalty to Optimus, abandoning his other agenda in favor of defeating Megatron. Kicker and the others convince Alpha Q to retreat from Unicron's body, as the explosion from the two strains of Energon clashing would be catastrophic. But when Scorponok starts getting absolutely fucking thrashed by Megatron, Alpha Q can't stay away. He ends up ramming directly into Unicron right as Megatron unleashes that Energon blast. This results in a gigantic tear opening up in the fabric of space, which begins sucking in everything around it. Optimus and Megatron prepare for their fated battle, but after Shockblast spoils the mood, Megatron and the other Decepticons decide to head into the tear to see what's on the other side. Eventually, both Unicron's head and body are taken through the tear. Optimus and the others quickly follow, leaving only Ironhide behind to speak to Primus. However, Kicker tells him to disregard those orders, and he flies the Miranda 2 and the freshly arrived Omnicons right into that big space hole. Wingdagger's best friend got hole punched by Cybertron's most infamous serial killer. Then he got crushed by a big building and died. And God brought him back so that he could be Optimus Prime's jacket.
But hey, speaking of ignoble ends, I mean, it's not his death, clearly, because we would have seen it more if it was. But boy, how Shockblast ends in this episode is pretty fucking funny.
He trips and falls into the big space hole.
Yeah, and Megatron literally laughs at him as it happens. It's really good.
Pretty funny.
It's pretty funny. God, what else happens in this?
I mean, Scorponok gets his fucking ass beat. He's like, no, it's fine. I can fight Megatron. I can fight the final boss. I'm leveled up enough.
This is great because, like, Megatron literally is like, welcome home, cheater, with Scorponok, except he's like, welcome home, traitor. And Scorponok responds with, I've never betrayed anyone.
It's way funnier in the sub because what he says is, well, I was working for Alpha Q the whole time, so I didn't really betray anybody.
Well, I mean, he says that afterward. He's like, I've never betrayed anyone. I was always loyal to Alpha Q. But it's like, me when I lie. You betrayed everyone who wasn't Alpha Q. That's what being a double agent means, my man.
Don't worry about it. That's something Sideways would say. I've never betrayed anyone in my life. Yeah, I mean, this is the second time they keep teasing us with the Megatron Optimus fight, and it just doesn't happen because Shockblast keeps cock-blocking them.
We do get Megatron versus Ironhide, though.
For 2 seconds.
For 2 seconds. It is really funny, though, because, Megatron's like, I'm gonna give you a choice. Like, either you die here or you run and live, but you'll live your entire life in fear. And Ironhide's like, well, first of all, that's a bad choice. Those choices suck. I don't like either of them. But second of all, he's like, I'm not running. And it's like, and Megatron is basically like, oh, you're going to fight. You think you have a chance? Don't you realize none of us live forever? Memento mori, Ironhide.
God, that's funny. Scorponok loses very badly. He
gets like, this is the reason why Alpha Q creates a rip in the space.
Yeah, because like Kicker's like, or Optimus like, hey man, Megatron is about to fucking let out the biggest energon fart of all time. You got to get away from it. And he's like, okay, I'll get away from the body. And then he feels Megatron, like, he's literally taking Scorponok apart like he's got a fucking scorpion on a pinboard. He is he is doing nasty things to that boy.
He feels Scorponok dying by like 1,000 cuts.
Yeah. Like, he gets one of his arms gets cut off, and then Megatron rams his sword into his chest.
Yeah, we're disarming a lot of people in these episodes.
And yeah, that is why Alpha Q hustles back towards Unicron. And once again, after he gets stabbed in the chest, Scorponok is in so much agony that he has to be animated in 2D. Can we talk about how much Wing Saber sucks? I want to talk more about how much Wing Saber sucks.
I don't like him. I don't like that he's back.
He's back. He's gonna be talking about Padlock way more in the immediate future. Okay. So, you know how Armada Jetfire, like, combined with Optimus, but he was still, like, a design in his own right, and, like, for toy stuff, he was like a toy, like a figure in his own right.
Yeah.
Wing Saber exists exclusively to be Optimus's arms, and you can tell in his design. He has a big old seam down the middle of his body where he splits apart. And also, the toy they made of him literally has no articulation.
That's pretty funny.
You can move his elbows and I think rotate his arms vertically, and that's it. Because he doesn't exist as a figure. He exists to be Optimus Prime's arms and legs. He looks like shit. He looks like if G1 Star Saber, like, let himself go, you know?
Sure, yeah. No, I mean, I get what you were saying.
He says like 2 lines in this episode again, too. Like, he just doesn't talk. Don't worry, though. I know everyone's clamoring for more Wing Saber. We'll be getting a lot more of him in a few episodes. He has a whole arc. Aren't you excited? Are you excited? Yeah, more looking in the Lost in Translation section of the TF WikiNet. More omission of all Primus related things. Wing Saber just does not talk about being revived by Primus.
Sure. I mean, like, why would he? Why would you?
Oh, there's a really funny moment. Okay. There was a whole thing earlier in a couple of earlier episodes where, like, Hotshot and Rodimus kind of reconcile after that whole shooting you on Mars thing, you know.
Okay, yeah.
And Rodimus is like, Hotshot, would you like to power link with me? And, you know, Hotshot fucking creams pants or whatever. And he becomes Pants for Rodimus. He is Pants for all of episode 25. And then in this episode, when Rodimus is doing the big, like, Rodimus, Prowl, and Landkruger are all there, and they're doing the big, like, you know, we swear loyalty to you, Optimus Prime. Optimus kind of looks down at Rodimus's Hotshot pants, and Rodimus goes, "Oh right," and unlinks with him. And in the sub, he tells Hotshot, "Hey man, sorry I was power linked with you for so long. Sorry I was topping you for so long. I just got carried away."
Yeah, you've heard of subspace. Now introducing top space.
It's just so funny that I'm pretty sure Hotshot's, like, one whole episode of the show is just Hotshot as Pants. God, that's fucking funny. Let's see here. You got any highlights from this episode?
No. The highlight really was the music in the first one, I would say, and also he's a pencil, he's a swizzle stick, you can use him like a pool noodle.
It's so funny. In the sub when he shows up with his Wing Saber armor, everyone goes, "Whoa, holy shit, Optimus, is that you?" And he goes, "Yes, you can call me Wing Convoy when I'm like this." It's like, I renamed myself. When I'm wearing this guy, you have to call me Wing Convoy.
Wingimus Prime.
I'm going wing mode.
Because Convoy is used as Prime in
yes.
sub, so
And
Wingham
in
is Prime.
Yep, every super mode has a different because normal mode so he was just Convoy in Armada, and then of course Jet Convoy when he was combined with Jetfire. I don't remember what it is when he's combined with him and Overload. I think that's Magna Convoy, Jet Magna Convoy.
Is it Wing in English?
Yes, he says Wing Convoy. All of it is in English because in his normal form is called Grand Convoy.
Right.
His super mode is, I think, is just Super Grand Convoy. And now we have Wing Convoy. And don't worry, there will be more guys that Optimus can glue to himself later. Don't you worry.
He's a regular Barbie girl.
So this episode ends with everybody falling through a big hole in space.
Which I'm sure will be fine. You know what? Can't be any worse than where they are now.
Also, what happened to Cybertron? That big rift was real close to Cybertron. So hopefully that doesn't get sucked in.
I mean, it was already half-eaten.
That's true. Unicron has been, snacking on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I really like the... so this really does, the Mirage and Starscream duo of Megatron Dick Riders are very well established by now.
Yeah, I will say, Optimus pleading with, the two of them to, please stop Megatron.
The wrong guys to ask, Optimus.
Right. Specifically, Starscream. He's like, Starscream, don't you hate this guy? First of all. He doesn't say that, but, he's like, Starscream, he's going to kill everyone if he does this. And Starscream's like, shut up. No, he won't. And even if he did... He did, shut up. No, he won't. He knows what he's doing. And even if he did kill everyone, who am I to question him? Yeah. It's like...
Optimus like, don't you remember you hated this guy? And Starscream just goes, that doesn't sound like me. Yeah. I love this guy. And always
literally
have.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
All I remember is waking up from a torture nexus. And I just loved him when I did.
I think he's the best. He's the best ever. And Mirage is like, I agree. Mirage shouldn't even need the torture nexus. He was already ride or die.
When I say gamer, you say girl. When I say best, you say in the world.
So okay, Shockblast, Demolisher, and Snowcat all fall into it slapstick style. So does Landmine, I think.
No, it's Prowl.
Yeah, right. Prowl is getting sucked into it. Landmine tries to go to help him, and then Landmine gets hit by a rock and falls into it.
Yeah.
So then Prowl has to go after him because he's Team Rodimus, ride or die. And then the rest of everyone else kind of comes back. Megatron and the rest go in there because he's basically says, well, it could be fun. Alpha Q goes in there because he's like, I want to, whatever's on the other side. That will be my new home. Goodbye, Kicker. Message to the world. My final message.
My final message.
Goodbye. And then, Optimus goes in there after them. The body and the head are both on the other side of the rift. And then, what does Optimus tell Ironhide in the dub? Does he tell Ironhide to report to Primus?
No, to report to Cybertron, which is funnier.
God. Just go tell the planet what's up.
It's even funnier. It's made it's very funny in the moment because it's such bullshit, but it is even funnier talking to Kicker about it afterwards.
Yes.
Kicker's like, what the fuck do you mean report to Cybertron? They went through a portal. You just let them do that.
Yeah, Ironhide's like, sorry, man, I can't go through there. I gotta go report to everybody. It's like, man, just go through the fucking portal.
Here's what is wrong with you for real?
All of the Omnicons arrive and say, we would also love to go through the portal. All of the named characters must go through the portal.
RC's like, yeehaw, I'm here.
Yeah, and so they fucking drive the Miranda 2 into that their big hole.
It's me, woman.
That's where we end. And would you fucking believe it? The next episode is season a clip
2.
show.
So, according to Tubi, it's season 1. It's episode 1 of season 2. So we could end this right now.
There was Let's see. Let me see if there was a gap. So it aired in. So by the way,
We don't have to do this anymore. We could end this right now.
That means we'd have to come back to it.
I know. I'm joking.
We can't. If we stop now, we'll never come back. So by the way, number one, this aired in Japan first. Superlink aired first, which makes the fact that Energon had a bunch of unfinished animation in the last episode very strange. Or in this episode, actually. So here, let me give you the example they list on TF Wiki here. So I put the file there in scheduling, so you can look at the differences. It's Energon on the left and Superlink on the right.
Okay.
I don't really know how this happened because this aired after Superlink, so I'm just very confused. Anyway, I was looking to see if there was a significant delay between air dates for Energon. So Ripped Up Space aired on September 4th, 2004. Mm-hmm. And, well, no. These aired on the same fucking day. Team Optimus Prime, the next episode, also aired on September 4th. But then there was a gap, a 2-month gap, because the episode after that aired November 1st. So there was a 2-month gap between the clip show and the next episode. Very strange.
Well, they just couldn't air anything on 9/11.
It was still too fresh.
It was too fresh. Too soon. Starscream, jet fuel, etc., etc.
Oh my god. They aired the next group of episodes in like a week-long marathon.
See, they're doing what we're doing. They hit the wall. They hit a wall, and they were like, no more of this. Can we, like, just skip episode 27?
You know what?
It's
yes,
just a clip
I don't
show?
care about... It's just Dr. Jones talking about what happened.
Fuck it. We're not going to watch it then. We're going to... Next
Dr.
week,
Jones...
we'll be covering episodes 28 and 29.
The synopsis on TM Wiki for Team Optimus Prime is, as the Autobots head into the black hole, Dr. Jones and his family sit around in Ocean City telling each other things they already know.
I love you, TF Wiki.
So that's what's going on over there. Yeah, we don't need to I'll probably watch it anyway just so I can talk about it a little bit, but I'm not taking notes on it.
Sure. Chase your bliss.
God damn. And also, so we're also coming up on the lost episode of Superlink. It is episode 33.
Okay, I thought it was 31, but 33. Okay.
No, 33 is the one because it goes right from Farewell Inferno to Crash Course.
Well,
spoiler, I guess.
That'll be a fun episode for you to talk about alone.
All right, well... How about we do some fucking questions? Let me check Twitter real quick. We have no questions on Twitter.
Good, because we have 50 million on Discord. God damn.
Always.
Werner John Herzog asks, which Transformers do you think are the top 3 gamers? In this?
I think we have to go as a whole, because none of these guys are gamers.
Cliff Jumper.
Which one? G1?
G1.
Okay.
He has heated gamer moments though. IDWRC.
Oh, for sure. She is sending people. You snipe her in fucking Call of Duty. She just sends you a message with your address.
Yeah.
And then another message. There's an attachment. It's the outside of your house. You look out there. There's a fucking pink car out there.
And. Oh, boy. Who's the last one? Prime Bumblebee.
Oh, we know this. We know he's a gamer. Canonical gamer.
Yeah. There you go.
Same thing with animated Bulkhead and Bumblebee. Both of those canonical gamers. I feel like we need a Decepticon. We don't have a Decepticon gamer. That was the Autobots.
Yes, because the Decepticons don't have fun.
Skywarp. Skywarp is griefing the Autobot Minecraft server. He is blowing up their houses with TNT.
No.
He is taking down all of the torches under their house so that the monsters spawn.
Here's the thing. Skywarp's doing all of that, but in real life. He's not doing it in a video game.
Damn, that's true.
He's doing domestic terrorism every day.
He doesn't need to do it in Minecraft.
Yeah.
He can do it in real life.
Yeah.
In that case, Thundercracker is a gamer, because we know he loves Earth culture. He plays video games.
I think he'd find them uncouth.
He's a fucking screenwriter. I've seen his film. I read that.
Yeah, and he's trying to get fucking Oscar nominated. The fact that he's not a good writer does not change the fact that he thinks he is.
Look, he can play like fucking the Stanley Parable and stuff. He can play like the high-minded, like clever games. He doesn't have to play like the slop. He's playing some Disco Elysium
for 5 minutes and then immediately throws it aside because it has all the Decepticon ideals that he signed up for, but they didn't go down with Megatron.
God.
He's like he comes out of it a renewed communist. What are your favorite alternate color schemes that have become their own characters? Hard mode, no seekers.
I mean, okay, that is hard mode because that is most of them that are their own characters. I do like a good evil Optimus, you know? I feel like the various Nemesis Primes can be pretty cool. They're all very different, too. Like
and Motormaster.
Yeah. Like any of the, like the black and purple, but of course that one doesn't count because that was a separate toy. Nemesis Primes are generally an actual recolor of the Optimus toy. Like the one in Armada is this like twisted puppet of Unicron. The one in Rid 2001, although that one's called Scourge, he's still like, he's got the Nemesis Prime colors. But he's like a failed clone. The one in Prime is a fucking mech, basically. There's also one in the Netflix show. I know that. It's like a fucked up Optimus. But other than that, other than that in the Seekers, I'm really struggling to come up with like another example because usually the recolors come like first. Yeah. Or rather, like, so there's going to be a thing that we encounter pretty soon in Energon, actually, that it was a big disconnect between Takara and Hasbro. So at a certain point, just like in Armada, everybody's going to get recolored by Primus to sell more toys. The miracle of selling more toys. So everyone's going to get new colors. And Takara always intended them to be like the powered up versions of these characters and sold them accordingly. But in American markets, all of them were sold as separate characters. And this includes the like Snowcat and Mirage and Demolisher, who were all supposed to be separate guys from their Armada counterparts. And Takara just decided to make them all the same guys. But Hasbro had already like produced and written all this stuff, so they couldn't, you know. It was all a big old mess. But yeah, usually the recolor like is a thing that is like intended to be a character. I think most of the ones that are like become characters are kind of brought that way out of fandom. Because there's
like Sunstorm. I mean,
yes.
Again, not to talk about like
basically any of the Seekers. Yeah, of the Seekers that were not the original like Elite Shrine
and the Coneheads.
Yeah, but I don't. You know, those were well, actually,
no, because those are a different model.
That's true, and also
they're recolors of each other, but they're different model.
And in toy form, this is really weird. The original Conehead toys did not have the cone heads. They were just repaints of they were just like slight retools of the original Seeker figures.
Okay, I'm actually going to call this because we have a lot of questions to get through. This is too much time to be spending on this.
I just like talking about recolors.
Yeah.
Nemesis Prime, you're cool. That's my answer.
Great. Do you think Arachnid exercised girl power when she funneled money into secret Northern Irish paramilitary death squads? Yes, of course.
Yes.
Aurora Energon asks, what color do you glow when you are powering up? I think we've talked about this before, but like a yellow gold.
Like a sea green.
Nice.
Like a bright sea green.
Slipstream Sam asks, Host, I need your opinion on the controversy regarding Optimus Prime's world record-winning run in the Resurrection Any Percent category, previously held by Jesus Christ. Some hold that due to us not seeing his colors drained, the LP never fully completed a death split of the run, while others claim that due to interference by the human Brian Kicker Jones Jr., the run is disqualified from the non-TAS version of the category. What say you, brave host of this podcast?
He did not die fully. He was dying, and they basically just like shocked him awake. It doesn't count unless the colors fade or unless like he explodes, or both in Armada's case. I think the fastest is still animated Optimus. That one's gonna be really hard to beat.
Yeah.
He's dead for like 75 seconds. Like, not even that. It's like 30 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, definitely quicker than 3 days if we're talking about old JC.
Yeah. Armada Optimus was dead for like 3 episodes, so that's kind of a tie in my book. Longest? I mean, the longest is probably the original G1 Optimus. He was gone for a whole season.
Yeah.
Which parents were very, very mad about.
Boy, did the 86 movie mess some things up, huh? Sure not. Chud asks, everyone's favorite Autobot, Wing Dagger, is back from the dead. It got repaired and returned as Wing Saber. Thoughts on this new addition to the cast? Throw him in the ocean.
Our thoughts on him are very clear. He is a glorified piece of gear for Optimus Prime.
Sidewinder Sabrina asks, is Snowstorm Sandy Claus?
Fuck, I forgot to mention I should have put it down somewhere. There is a part in episode 24 where Snowcat is hooked onto Mirage and pulling him, or like being pulled around by him, and he is going ho 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 Merry Christmas.
Oh, great. But also no, he's not Santa Claus.
No. I'm not letting him into my damn house.
I'm Jewish. No man comes into my house. I call the police on that shit. That's not true. Don't call the police. They won't help. With the new understanding of Energon Power Wave Emitters TM, is it a good defense mechanism if anyone not with a red star will explode?
Oh yeah, that's a thing where it's like, because Rodimus get down Mr. President's hotshot when he tries to fire back at Mirage. But yeah, apparently if you're not wearing an Energon star, you will explode just like the Decepticons do.
I think it's fine because anyone who's not named is unimportant.
Exactly.
How do you deal with the dread when fighting Lord Unicron, and what would your strategy be? I simply wouldn't do it, frankly.
I'm not my fucking problem.
Yeah. If I were the sole survivor of a planet-eating monster, I would not try to fight that monster.
I'm moving somewhere else.
Personally. I would grieve very hard, and then I would find somewhere to move on with my life. Why did they change the coloring and shading on the head in between versions?
It's because pretty soon that's going to become a part of Unicron's animation model, so they needed to like update the textures and make it that weird, like the kind of weird, almost like bezel texture. It's very weird. I don't like they represent scale in this show by just making everyone look like they're made of marble, but like rough cut marble. It's not great. Is
this new Rainbow Joptimus better or worse than design from Armada's Joptimus? Joptimus
worse.
Is short for Jet Optimus, as a personal name for that form since it was Jet Convoy in both Micron and Armada. And what kind of question is that, Sabrina? Yes, it's worse.
Fucking so much worse. He looks hideous. It looks bad.
Is Laserwave the smartest Decepticon or the biggest bitch for blasting Optimus before his massive spiral staircase confrontation with Megs?
He's both. Making moves. He's both, but it can't be denied. He is making moves.
Yeah. I mean, he dies badly afterwards, but that was that was hilariously effective.
Yeah, like he almost fucking killed him.
Yeah. So the last time OP died, it took about 3 episodes to come back. It seems that took too much time for this Prime and set a new personal res record with a total time till res being about 3 seconds.
He didn't fully die. He was like, he had like 0.5 HP left and then he got the boost. I refuse to count this as an Optimus.
So
death.
her actual question, though, is at the rate of improvement, what do you suppose will be his next time to res?
I think next time he will die and resurrect so fast it will not be perceptible.
He'll actually, he won't be killed. He will spontaneously die because he'll be resurrecting faster than he can die. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. So it'll just look seamless. You won't even know it happened.
Yeah.
Finally, with the ends of these episodes, we've reached the halfway point. How are we all feeling? I personally feel great. Fueled even.
You're a fucking maniac.
Nero from Disney Minus asks, with all these resurrections going on, surely the fan favorite Padlock will also be brought back, right?
Where's Super Padlock? Let me tell you, there's gonna be an episode where they talk about Padlock a whole lot coming up.
Where's Pad Saber?
Yeah, he should become
I need him for my menstrual cycle.
Fucking Optimus needs a new hat. Dig Padlock's corpse up and just kind of squish him into a new hat.
Optimus, what size pussy do you wear for your Pad Saber?
3XL.
Which of the Energon characters could last 5 minutes in the ring with the rabbit from Monty Python and the Holy Grail?
Shockblast, Megatron, Optimus. Landmine.
Anyone who is flight capable.
Yeah, like anyone can fly out there is fine. So most of the Decepticons, because I'm pretty sure Snowcat can just fly. Let's presume there's a dome over the pit. How about that?
But even so, the rabbit can only jump. The bunny can only jump so high.
That's true. I'll tell you who will not last a very long time. Ironhide, Prowl, Hotshot, Inferno. They're all dead.
Yeah. Who amongst the cast secretly has the holy hand grenade and will not use it for whatever reason? What is that reason?
I think Rodimus has the holy hand grenade, and he hasn't used it because it would kill Unicron. He doesn't want that. Although I don't think he cares about that anymore. He decided he's been on this thing for like who knows how fucking long, but he decided actually I'm fine with killing Unicron now.
And who is the host most likely to do a sudden betrayal? You mean who are we most likely to suddenly betray?
Yeah, who among us will turn on the other?
My locally elected representatives.
Yeah.
That's who I'm most likely to betray.
My workplace. I don't have any loyalty to them, those motherfuckers. If someone approached me, if I had like some kind of trade secret, and someone approached me and was like, "Hey, we will pay you lots of money if you tell us this intel," I would do it in a heartbeat and then quit.
I'm in AOC's district, and she's on thin fucking ice. Is all I'm gonna say.
That's right. You fucking put her ass on notice.
Haybine asks, our intrepid hosts seem to be having trouble getting through this exciting tale of saying the word Energon over and over again.
They do. Boy, howdy. They sure fucking say that shit a lot, huh?
Have they considered power linking to create a super broadcaster that could defeat this series? Who will be the pants and who will be the shirt?
Well, neither
of us will.
Much like actual power linking, that wouldn't accomplish much. Because then only one person would be there to podcast. Much like how when you power link, there's less guns.
Speak for yourself. I'll speak through my dick.
Oh my God.
If I'm the pants in this situation, then put it right in front of the fly.
Really difficult to figure out the microphone situation for that. Gotta fucking...
No, man, it's fine. You do the desk blowjob scenario. You just put a mic underneath the desk right at crotch level, and then you have the normal one on top of the desk. The feedback could be an issue.
I hate this. Move on to the next question.
Oh, I'm sure JD Vance would be into it.
I don't care if it was fake. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it was fake because it caused the AP. It caused the yeah, like everyone said, yeah, that looked at that guy and said, you know what, he probably fucked a couch. And also, it made the AP post a fucking fact check about it. It doesn't matter, like
that they had to retract because they worded it badly.
Because like Oh,
because they
boy.
could not confirm for fact that he never fucked a couch.
It's fuck it. Like, yeah, they were like, well, technically the headline should have been that he never wrote about it. We cannot verify
Right,
that
exactly.
JD Vance has never actually fucked a couch before.
Does it make you sadder every time you see Demolisher thumping his chest and yelling nonsense as you remember who and what he used to be at the beginning of the series?
Yeah.
That feels like so long ago at this point, honestly, that it doesn't even register for me.
He used to be like one of the actual characters on the show. Now he's literally just fucking gorilla mode.
Also, as I said before, like, I actually can't tell the difference between anyone at this point. So
They all look like shit.
they all look like shit, and they all sound the same. So whatever.
They're all square.
Yeah. And then our final question, also from Haybine, is if you got beat up by a local jock so bad that the ground around you was littered with all of your severed limbs, do you think you would have the composure to say only that it doesn't look good right now and insist you all will be fine? Would you, like Optimus, be able to claim that you're not owned?
No, I would definitely be going, ow. Ow, my limbs.
As someone who has watched all of the Saw movies, I think one limb would do it for me, thanks.
Yeah. If I'm in a Saw situation, if you will, I'm just looking at that puppet and saying, hey, man, like, you can just, I'm not doing this shit. You can just kill me, man. I don't want anything bad enough to do this, like, this reverse bear trap shit, my man. Just fucking shoot me.
I will say, I can only think of 2 characters off the top of my head who get drawn and quartered.
Oh my god.
In Saw. I mean, like...
Well, I mean, that's so basic. You gotta do, Jigsaw's all about that real shit, like the used needle tunnel.
I mean, mostly it's less drawn and more just quartered.
Yeah, just like...
I mean, one of them
sliced.
is drawn. One of them is drawn by, like, a car. One of them is a white supremacist that gets all his limbs ripped off by a car.
there's like, we used to do this with horses, so we have to use the modern metal horse for this one.
And the other is a rapist who gets all his limbs ripped off because he won't poke out his eyes. So,
man,
yeah,
Jigsaw must have a lot of fun.
I mean, like, yeah, half of the plot is about all of his apprentices fucking around and being assholes. So yeah, like, Saw's a great franchise, folks. We have fun here. Maybe we should trigger warning that one.
I'll put it in there.
For graphic descriptions of violence.
Yeah.
That's our show. You can find us on Twitter at PrimeCutsPod. You can also listen to us on any podcaster of your choice. If you're feeling it, give us a good review. Give us a little 5-star.
Write some more reviews, so our only one is that really funny one.
Yeah. We still only have the one really funny review, which is great, and I don't want it going anywhere. But give us a rating. Show us some love. You can also listen to us on noisepace.xyz along with a bunch of other very cool shows. I'm Audrey. You can find me on Tumblr, Twitter, co-host of Blue Sky.
What was that site you were about to say?
Blowhost.
Blowhost?
Yeah, I
Yar, this be Blowhost, the only whalers only social media site.
Oh, I was going for a competitor to OnlyFans.
No, well, yeah. Very limited content rules on Blowhost. We're very specialized.
Yeah. You can find me on Tumblr, Twitter, Blue Sky, and co-host at Optimum Prime. That's my funny robot internet joke. You can listen to the other podcast I do. It's called Pot of Greed, and it's about Yu-Gi-Oh! And we are about to start season 3, I believe, of 5Ds. And that is it for me.
I'm Nero. You can follow me on Twitter at Dragon Smootron, on co-host of Dragon Snuggler, and on Tumblr at Cyclones with a 5 at the end of it. Not named after this yodeling idiot, as some people in this Discord have claimed. I named myself after the beautiful, tragic, 8,000-year-old fucking guy from IDW. I named after that Cyclonus. He's cool. He's got a big sword and a very small boyfriend. And that's it for me. I got, my other projects are on hiatus right now, but Talk Cycles and Radio Free Heideland, you can still find them. They're out there. Just dig through the dirt and you'll find them. a fresh podcast just for you. Clean it off, take a bite. Delicious. Well, until next time, I am going to have all of my limbs blown off and then just kind of slowly drag myself along the ground like some kind of blood slug. And I won't transform into a lot because all of my limbs got blown off.
I'm going to transform, never betray anyone, and roll out.
Peach.
Peach.
Transformers, more than meets the eye. Transformers, more than meets the eye. Transformers, robots in disguise.
Transformers.